This is a big ongoing investigation. There's still a lot of answers still out there, a lot of questions to be answered. And the FBI, the Nevada County Sheriff's Office, and the Placer County Sheriff's Office now have one of the biggest missing clues to their investigations, and should be. I fully expect a lot of very heavy stuff to come from this. I fully expect a lot of very heavy stuff to come from this.
So how is everyone? I hope you're all well. So what you've just listened to there is Adventures with Purpose, when they had obviously recovered Kiely's car from the lake. And look, this statement that they've made here, it raises a lot of questions. You know, a lot of people have mixed kind of thoughts about the true crime niche, and you know, the speculation. Like, some people say that, oh, you're accusing people, you're going down rabbit holes, and you're saying this, that, and the other. But look, this niche, there are good things about this niche as well, because it gives people the ability to discuss openly about things that they care about. These cases mean a lot to people, and to have a platform that they can go to and they can talk to others about things that they think and feel around these cases is healthy. It's a healthy thing. And look, anybody can speculate. It's when somebody flat out points a finger and say, this is what happened. And we don't do that over here. This channel is all about giving people an open forum to discuss different things around this case. And look, it would show you, like I've just said, this statement made by Adventures with Purpose raises alarm bells. You know, they've gone into the water, they've found this young girl. If this was simply an accident, and everything inside that car led them to believe it was an accident. Look, they do this all the time. They do these recoveries. That is what they specialise in. They have done nearly 30 cold cases that they have brought to a close. They are not unfamiliar with entering the water and pulling vehicles with bodies in them. They do it all the time. So what did they see? What questions do you have? You know, I know people have turned around and they've said, well, when the tomato-headed police officer was, you know, asked about the car and whether there was anybody else in the car, there was a pause. I don't think that was an indication that there was another person in the car. I think that he was thinking in his mind whether answering that question could impact the investigation. He done the compute in his head and he answered the question to state that there was nobody else in the car, because he'd decided that, you know, he could answer that question and it wouldn't impact anything. So look, we can think Kiely was found in the car, but how was she found in the car? We know that there was a tarp draped over the back window, which would lead you to believe that she was found in the back of the car. Now, we've said before that it's not uncommon when a car goes in the water, as the nose dives into the water and the back end lifts, for people who are sort of compos mentis in the car to make that dash to get away from the water. But there were some things that was odd about this car when it was pulled out, and that is that the driver's side window and the driver's side mirror was broken, which would indicate that the window was broken either in an attempt to get out, or it could have been broken while it laid. It would appear that it was laying on its side under the water, so who knows, it might have been broken under the water, but you've got to think what they would have seen. So they see a car with the driver's side window broken, the mirror broken, which could also indicate that someone had tried to escape. Someone did escape even. And Kiely being towards the back of the car. How was she in the back of the car? Was she indeed strapped into the back of the car? Was she fully clothed, partially clothed? Was there clear signs of injury or something that just made them think this is not a normal situation that we've come across? Something else was amiss here. There'll be questions as to where her phone was. Was a phone in the car? And look, the downside with that is that the window was broken which would mean that if the phone is not found in the car, it wouldn't really prove anything, because reasonable doubt would lead you to believe that, look, as the water flows around the car in the open window, the phone could have exited through the window. So the downside is that broken window hasn't done us any favours there. Toxicology reports, as we've said, sort of in another 3 or 4 weeks potentially, and who knows, they may be suppressed, they may not be, but what do they tell us? They will, in fact, if we do get to hear them, they'll tell us whether she was sober or whether she was drunk. But look, there's going to be a lot of other factors that we have to consider. If she was indeed stone cold sober, or they prove that, then we know that she was indeed the person who sent the text, and then we have to think about what led to the accident in a girl who seemingly was not under the influence of alcohol. And again, it could have just been a zig when she should have zagged scenario. But there is a lot happening in this area, and tomorrow I'm going to touch on something in a video that's quite shocking. It's in this area, and it's to do with someone who went to that party and their connection to law enforcement, and indeed the controversy surrounding this member of law enforcement. And perhaps that's why we've now seen FBI involvement and Nevada taken over, when initially Nevada could have turned around and say, no, you started it, you finish it. But who knows? It could have had an implication in things that have happened around the search, etc. We just don't know, and I'm just scared that that's going to lead to more speculation. But anyway, before I go, I feel it's important. And look, I didn't want to put this person's name in the thumbnail or in the title or anything like that, because I don't want this channel to be about getting clicks, likes and views because of someone else, as it just isn't right. And I'm going to talk about, and only briefly, Ryan Upchurch. And look, I have massive respect for Ryan Upchurch. I think the guy's fantastic. As far as his music, I think his music is excellent, and I've spoken to him off the platform, only briefly, but enough to know that he is a genuine and he's a nice guy, and I've got nothing bad to say about him in that sense. The issue that I have is that I feel that what Ryan has shown is that navigating true crime in this niche is not easy. It's not easy, and it takes a certain type of person to be able to navigate these cases and be able to decipher between what needs to be looked at and what needs to be ignored. And when Ryan put out his video stating that he believed that this was a hoax, this is where, sadly, I had to kind of go off in a different direction. I felt that Ryan had started with some very valid things, regarding Ronnie, regarding Zana May. I felt that there was a potential there for Ickard Mel to potentially have tried to fake a guest, and I can't say that I could still rule that out. I feel that there is still something around that. I don't feel comfortable to 100% say there is nothing to look at there. Why would these people make themselves involved and then seemingly remove all indication that they ever had anything to do with it off of social media if they had nothing to hide? And I appreciate that some people have turned around and said, look, they were being targeted, they were being threatened, blah, blah, blah. We've got a female whose life, it seems to be military based. We've got her going on lives herself and given as good as she gets. And Ronnie doesn't himself, from what I briefly saw of him, look like he's someone who'd be scared of someone on social media perhaps calling him a liar. And we're all in it. I get threatened. There's other creators out there who I can guarantee they've been threatened, and they're probably threatened near enough on a daily basis with something that's just part and parcel of being on social media. But yeah, when Ryan had turned around and said that Kiely didn't exist and there was a potential Adventures with Purpose were a hoax and there wasn't a body found, that for me crossed a line that I weren't able to cross with Ryan. And look, there is always that chance that we've all been hoodwinked by everybody. Nobody can say that somebody else's ideas are invalid. They can't. We've all, in this niche, we will all have ideas about things. I speculate on many, many things. And who would I be to say that somebody else is not entitled to their opinion? Everybody is entitled to their opinion, and I welcome everybody's opinion on here. And I just wanted to make it very, very clear that I do follow Ryan hugely to a degree, but for me, that statement in that last video, it just went a little bit too far, and at that stage I could no longer follow the direction that was going. And I just want people to understand, the people who have got negative thoughts about Ryan, let's just remember that Ryan is not part of the true crime niche. He's not really navigated it. He has been very, very kind enough to offer a reward up for a person who he didn't know, and he cared enough to put a reward up against. And I feel that what he's done, he's been upset because of things, and he's seen certain things, and it's made him chase things like a dog with a bone. But as people who have been in this niche a while will understand how easy it is to start getting pulled in a few directions, that if you look hard enough, you will find something in everything. But for me, Kiely is very, very real. What happened to her was very, very real. And because of that, I'm 100% going to focus this channel on the understanding that Kiely is indeed that real person that needs us to find out what happened to her and see it through to the very, very end. And I would love it if you could all join me. I appreciate that some people may leave because they are die-hard fans of Ryan, and if that's the case, so be it. I have to stand true to who I am and what I believe in, and I cannot always follow everybody, and I won't follow anybody just because it would benefit my channel from a numbers perspective if I was to go all in, balls deep, in there like swimwear, and accept what people say. That ain't me, and that ain't this channel. Take care, and I'll see you all in the next one.